Hi everyone, very good morning and welcome back to Crack Grade B. So today we are going to start the schemes on Ministry of Health. Behind me there are all the schemes are listed that we are going to cover. So you can see there are a lot of schemes that we have to cover under Ministry of Health, right? So before starting with the schemes, we'll first start like what are the basics, what should we understand, what are the different meanings of the terms that we should be understanding before starting the Ministry of Health, right? So let's start. And first of all, we have to understand some basic terms that we are going to use a lot while we were reading the Ministry of Health related schemes, right? So first of all, you see here there are four terms that are given to you: neonatal mortality rate, under 5 mortality rate, maternal mortality rate, and TFR. So neonatal under 5. Neonatal means the child has just been born and we have to identify whether if there are 1000 live births which are happening in India, out of that 1000 live births, how many childs they die as soon as they are born. That means within a period of 29 days. If after being born within a period of 29 days the child is dead, then that is called as a neonatal mortality rate. We have to measure all of these because we want to control them, we want to reduce them. Going ahead in the document, you are going to see that what are the various what you can say standards regarding this. Next is your under 5 mortality rate, means child is not able to cross the age of 5 years and he has died before that this measurement also we take 1000 births which have taken. So number of death of child which are less than of 5 years of age per 1000 live births. So what you have to remember is, in these neonatal as well as under 5, what we are using is per 1000 live birth. In maternal mortality rate, see, child death is more what you can say probable than a maternal mortality. Hence, in this maternal mortality ratio, you measure how many mothers have died while giving the birth or within a period of your 42 days of giving birth. If the mother has died, that is called as the maternal mortality rate and it is measured per 1 lakh women, right? So this is number of maternity deaths from any cause which is aggravated by pregnancy, whether at the time of giving birth or within 42 days of pregnancy termination, and this is measured per 1 lakh live births during the specific period, right? Next we have got total fertility rate. Total fertility rate means what is the average number of children a woman is going to bear during his reproductive age. Can you tell me that what is India's current total fertility rate, total fertility rate? Have you got any idea? Any sort of idea you might be possessing? No ideas? So I'll tell you, there is a word called as the replacement level fertility. This is 2.1. 2.1 means average number of child if a woman bears during his reproductive age. If it is 2.1, this is the average, right? So the population is going to replace itself. Population is neither going to increase nor going to decrease. But currently, sorry for my voice. So, but currently India's TFR is below 2.1. As per latest survey but done by NFHS, your National Family Health Survey, it has been found that India's TFR has reduced below replacement level also. That is a good news. So going forward, we might see a decline in the population growth, right? See over here, what is TFR? Average number of children that would be born to a woman if she experiences the current fertility pattern throughout her reproductive span during a specific year. Now talking about ASHA, ANM and Anganwadi workers. So I'll tell you, this is easier to understand. This is your village population, right? Here is your ANM. And the bridge between both of them is your ASHA workers. So this is the relationship. Your village population, obviously they need so many health related support, and that health related support is going to be provided to them by ANMs, right? And who will bring this village population to ANMs? So this work is performed by the ASHA workers. So this is the relationship between these people. Now we'll see what are the definitions. So full form of ASHA, accredited social health activist. He is a trained female community health activist who acts as an interface between community as well as the public health system, right? So what does ASHA exactly do? They educate the rural population about various health benefits, various health problems they should be aware of, and if in case they are in the need of any kind of medical support, then these ASHA workers bring these rural population to the ANMs. Now moving ahead to ANMs, so auxiliary nurse midwife, this is a resource person for ASHA, and they provide on the job training and guidance to the ASHA so that they can get compensation for the performance. And apart from that, just give me a second, I'll just fix my voice. Yeah, I guess it's better now. So auxiliary nurse midwives, ANMs, they actually perform, they provide the primary health support at the village level. They talk about the See, all the schemes related class, they are freely available on the YouTubes, but the other classes related to IFSCA or any other course, you will be getting in your paid course, right? This is the thing. So ANMs we have understood, and lastly we have got Anganwadi workers. These Anganwadi workers, they maintain the stocks that has been provided by the government in order to distribute to the rural population, and ultimately they help the ASHA workers. So this is what their work is. Now moving ahead and talking about with our first scheme, that is called as PM Swasthya Suraksha Yojana. What we are going to do over here is, see, there are three kinds of support or medical care that is being provided. Number one is primary, number one is secondary, and third one is tertiary. Primary means, suppose I have got a fever. So I'll go to a general physician, I'll tell them that okay, this is my problem, and they'll give me just medicine and I'll go home. So taking a general medical care is called as the primary care, right? Suppose I have got any heart related issues, right? So I'll be meeting a cardiologist. Cardiologist is a specialist in heart related matters and etc. So when I am going to meet a specialist, oncologist or cardiologist or any kind of maybe I have got some problem in my bones, so I'll see an orthopedic. So if I am going to meet any kind of specialist, then that is called as the secondary care. Fine. And thirdly, if I need any kind of surgery to be performed on me, that is called as the tertiary care. So now I hope that you should remember what is primary, secondary and tertiary care. Now what happened was, in India, you have seen that there are not many good quality of or high quality of tertiary care providers in the most of the district. Suppose in Rajasthan, UP, someone has got severe problem and that is not able to be handled by the district medical colleges, then that person will be referred to the AIIMS, Delhi. But AIIMS Delhi also has got a restricted capacity. So our government has tried to establish so many AIIMS in different parts of the country, so that every person should be getting a appropriate need or appropriate care that he or she requires. Not just the AIIMS, here we are going to develop your district medical institutions as well. This has got two benefits. First benefit is, when you upgrade the infrastructure, you are obviously providing a good health care to your citizens, but at the same time you are also increasing the medical seats where you can train students as well. So with this particular brief, now let's start with our scheme. It is a very simple short scheme, basically focused on the infrastructure development of medical. Now let's see this. So it was launched in March 2006. What was the aim? So we want to provide affordable tertiary healthcare. You already know what tertiary healthcare means. Aim is setting up 22 AIIMS-like institution and upgradation of government medical colleges, right? Funding is, it is a central sector scheme. Now the aim, we have already seen this. What has been the work that is being performed? So in phase 1, 6 AIIMS were set up and these 6 AIIMS are already operational. AIIMS Bhopal, Bhubaneswar, Jodhpur, Raipur, Patna and Rishikesh. What happened on account of this? So we have increased the PG seats as well as the MBBS seats in these 6 AIIMS, right? Now in addition to this 6 AIIMS sanctioned in phase 1, 16 more AIIMS have been sanctioned or approved by the cabinet. Obviously, we are establishing them in different areas of the country. So every citizen of our country should be having a good quality tertiary health care as per his or her needs. Now the last thing, in government medical colleges also we want the upgradation. What kind of upgradation? So first of all, operation theatres upgradation, super specialty departments, 750 beds, 100 UG seats, 60 nursing seats, and focus on postgraduate education as well as research. That means the specialists should be begin to be developed out of this particular scheme. So hence this was just the shortest possible scheme. The aim was to establish AIIMS as well as to upgrade the government medical colleges, right? Now moving on to the next scheme, and it is an important scheme. Now in this scheme, first of all, understand we have started in the year 2005, right? In the year 2005 when we started, we only thought about rural health per se, because the rural health was the most crucial component at that particular time. Going ahead, when the next decade came, we came to realize that urban health is also important. So we bifurcated this particular health mission into 2 parts, that is the rural health mission as well as the urban health mission. In urban counterparts, we are going to focus on the most disadvantaged sections like rickshaw pullers, construction workers, slum workers, all of them. They are in the most need of this particular scheme, right? What we are going to see, this is a comprehensive scheme. We are going to focus reproductive, maternal, neonatal, as well as the child health care basics. We have covered everything under this particular National Health Mission. So let's see. It was launched in 2005, right? Earlier, it was only focused in the rural areas. Later, it got bifurcated, and now we have got two components: Urban Health Mission as well as the Rural Health Mission. What are the targets by 2025? So now you have seen what is the meaning of maternal mortality rate. Currently, from 113, that means 113 mother die while giving the birth every year, and this measurement is per 1 lakh live births, right? So you want to decrease from 113 to 90. You want to bring it down. Obviously, at one point, you want to eliminate them, but understand this, they cannot be eliminated. Some or the other things, even if you provide the best of healthcare, still you cannot decide that who should live and who should die. Some processes are beyond the hands of doctor, right? So therefore, we aim to eliminate, but it cannot be eliminated completely, but still it can be reduced to a greater extent by providing the quality health care. Next is infant mortality rate. You want to reduce from 32 to 23. Under 5 mortality rate, and sustain the total fertility rate to 2.1. India has already gone one step ahead and it is below total fertility rate, but we want to sustain it. This is our aim till 2025. Then we have also got components to reduction of leprosy as well as the malaria. So we want to reduce the prevalence of leprosy. In every 10,000 population, we want to reduce the prevalence to just 1, right? And annual malaria incidence 1,000 to 1. Then ending the TB epidemic by 2025 from our country, preventing and reducing communicable as well as non-communicable and emerging disease. These are all the components that we should be seeing. 6 financing components are also there. 6 financing components mean obviously we have got so many different aims. So for different aims, we have got different funds in which the funds will be deposited. First of all, NRHM RCH Flexipool, like your reproductive and child health Flexipool under National Rural Health Mission. Then you have got Urban Health Mission Flexipool. Then there is also a pool for communicable disease, separate pool for non-communicable disease, infrastructure and family welfare. Not very important, but just a understanding will help in you in that, right? Extension has been done till 2026 or till further review. Now watching out for the institutional mechanisms. So in the national level, you have got mission steering group and empowered program committee. State level, it is important. At the state level, this particular mission is headed by state chief minister. State health mission works on the guidance as well as directives by your chief minister. Please remember this. This is an important fact which you should be remembering at any cost. Next is district health mission. So at district health mission, let's see who is going to be the chairperson. So it would be headed by head of the local self-government. Maybe it is Jilla Parishad, mayor as decided by the state, depending on district is predominantly as a rural district or a urban district. So mostly what happens is, if at national level, person who has got some kind of reputation or hold over the government, if he is heading the institution, then you should always look out for some these kinds of information. Like in the state health mission, this is going to be chaired by state chief minister. Hence it becomes very important for us to remember this particular factual data. Next is, what are the health mission components in rural and urban area? So RMNCH, health system strengthening, non-communicable disease, communicable disease control and infrastructure maintenance, same thing. This is your reproductive, maternal health, neonatal health and child health related components. So under this, all of this we are going to be including. Not just women and child health, we are going to talk about communicable, non-communicable diseases and infrastructure development as well. Talking about National Rural Health Mission, it was launched by Prime Minister in 2005. Union Cabinet decided in 2013 that a urban health mission should also be brought out as a sub-mission. What is the purpose of National Rural Health Mission? You all know about it, right? So I guess you all might be having the information about it. This is very basics. So you want to provide equitable, affordable, quality healthcare to rural population, especially to vulnerable group. We already know about it. Now, under NRHM, the Empowered Action Group, EAG states, we will see there are 8 EAG states in India, and EAG states means you want to develop them. They are lagging behind certain indicators and you want to develop them. So we will say who are the EAG states. Then there are northeastern states, Jammu Kashmir. They have been given special focus. Next, the mission thrust is on establishing fully functional, community-owned, decentralized health delivery system with intersectoral convergence at all levels. You want to provide health related to water, education, nutrition, social and gender equality, all kinds of parameters you want to educate them on. Now here comes the important point which you should be remembering. That means the infrastructure development. At what level we are going to consider them, or at what level we are going to talk about them. So see over here. The first point is sub-centers are currently provided in a population norm of 1 per 5,000 population in general areas and 1 per 3,000 population in the tribal areas. This is the current thing. But now what you want to do? There should be a provision of 30 to 50 bedded community health center as per the per lakh population, right? Currently, this is being provided 1,20,000 in general areas and 1 community center per 80,000 population in tribal desert area. One more thing which I would like to tell you over here is, see, at village levels, there is a primary health center that is called as the PHCs, right? This you can be finding in the village level. Then at the town level, you find the CHCs called as the community health center. We are seeing that this depends on the population. In general areas, currently at 1,20,000 of the population, there is a norm of 1 community health center. We want to take it to 1 lakh. That means for every 1 lakh of population, we should be having 1 community health center. So this is how it works, right? At village level, you have got PHCs. Then at town level, you have got your CHCs. And obviously at district levels, you have got the medical colleges, right? Or district hospitals, whatever you might want to call them. Next is your PHCs. PHCs are currently provided for per 30,000 population in general areas and per 20,000 population in tribal areas. Then you have got accredited ASHA workers in all villages with a population of 1000. That means above the population of 1000 you should be having a ASHA. Medical mobile units, while other states have more medical mobile units per 10 lakhs of population, subject to capping of 5 medical mobile units per districts for tribal and hilly states. This could be further relaxed. So these are the norms which are currently being followed, right, with relation to PHCs, CHCs, etc. What you can do, you can just remember a little bit of data out of it. Next is Urban Health Mission. Launched in 2013, funding you can see 60-40 is the funding for the general states, 90:10 for northeastern states, as well as 100% for the UTs, right? For Delhi and Puducherry, they have revised it to 60-40, and the rest of the UTs without legislature, these are fully funded by the central government. Next is, what are the goals of this particular National Urban Health Mission? So here, we want to provide diverse healthcare needs to urban poor and the other vulnerable sections. We want to partnership with the community, and then you want to monitor the health activities. You want to provide the resources for essential primary health cares and partnership with NGOs for profit and non-profit health related services. See, I have told you these PHCs and well as your CHCs, these are depending on the population level, right? So there are some kind of villages. When I am saying PHCs, they can be established for one village or a number of villages together, right? But it depends on the population, what kind of population your village has. Sometimes if you'll see in the states of Kerala or Tamil Nadu, the village population is quite higher in that scenario, right? So 30,000 is maybe an average number for a village to have the population in. So PHC can be established for one village if the population is such high, or it can be established for a number of villages taken together. Apart from them, CHC is a community health center. Community health center, if I talk in a basic terms, as per government instructions, these are being established for a population of 1,20,000. If in area you have got a population of more than 1,20,000, then you have to establish a community health center. Basically, these are established for a town which is not a district yet, right? We all have towns that is not even a village, not even a proper city, somewhere in between. So for them, community health centers are established, right? And then we have got your district related hospitals. So your district related hospitals, all those cities in your areas or in your states where they have already been declared as a district by the government, then there you have got your district level health colleges or your medical colleges. Next is National Health Mission. This comes, see, there are two kinds of things. One is the ministry, right? Under which ministry's purview this particular mission comes in. So obviously that ministry is your Ministry of Health. But after that, you have got implementation agencies, right? Ministry of Health will be formulating the regulations or they will be providing you the guidance. But at the end of the day, there is a steering committee as well as empowered group at the national level who are going to implement this scheme. So regulation, if I say regulation will be done by the Ministry of Health, but the implementation is done by the empowered committee as well as the national steering committee, which is at the national level. Coming to this, so NUHM, it covers all cities and towns with more than 50,000 populations and district and state headquarters with more than the 30,000 population, right? See, why I am saying this? There might be cities who have got a population higher than 50,000. They are already covered. But like in your northeast areas, there are state headquarters and district headquarters, right? in these headquarters population is not that much because northeast is sparsely populated. So in those areas, even if they are state headquarters and district headquarters, population norm has been lowered, and even if 30,000 population is there, they will be considered under the National Urban Health Mission. Now talking about primarily focus will be on vulnerable section. I have already told you, slum dwellers, street vendors, railway bus station, coolies, homeless people, site workers, as well as your construction workers, slum workers, etc. The implementation under Urban Health Mission will be done by the State Health Department as well as the urban local bodies. It is implemented, sent by the states and appraised by the ministry. So you see over here, regulation is done by whom? Ministry. At the national level, you will be getting a steering committee as well as empowered group. They are going to see the implementation. At the state level, you have got the different implementation bodies, right? Now talking about the components. So here again, in the rural areas, we have got a structure of your primary health centers as well as the community health centers. The same thing will get replicated in your urban areas as well. So in your urban areas, we have got primary health centers. It will be established one UPHC for approximately 30 to 50,000 urban population. These are preferably be located near or within a slum in order to provide OPD or basic diagnosis or non-communicable diseases related activities, right? And then you have got your urban CHC. One CHC will be established for 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh populations in metro cities. In non-metro cities above 5 lakh population, it would be providing the patient services and would be a 30 to 50 bedded facility. So again, what the need you have to remember is it depends on the population level. PHC or CSC, they depends on the population what a urban city is having. In your rural setup, you take that as village as well as your town. In urban areas, you count them as the population. What is the population you might be having? It is a small city or it is a big city. Depending on that, you are going to establish the urban related primary health centers or urban related community health centers. Now, on what kind of basis we divide the urban and rural population? Can you tell me? Basically, what happens is, in any area when the primary kind of activity is not agriculture, but people are performing secondary and tertiary level of work more. That is one kind of criteria for being to be defined as urban or rural. The next is the type of local body which is functioning in your area. Whether government has said that you are going to come under Gram Panchayat. So if you are going to count under Gram Panchayat, then you are a village or a rural body. But if there has been a municipality which has been established for you and you live within a area of 8 kilometers of that particular municipality, then you will be counted as an urban population. So a type of local body that is governing your area is the most precise what you can say criteria to define what is your urban population and what is your rural population, right? Just wait for a second. Yeah. So these are the things that we had to understood. And how a rural area graduates to urban area? As soon as the population in the rural area starts increasing, the activity type shifts from agriculture to other kinds of activities related to trading and tertiary level service provider. Then on the basis of population, the need is being felt that Gram Panchayat cannot handle such a big area and you have to bring in the municipality. So this is the basis on which you divide your urban as well as rural areas, right? For community persons also, one ASHA should be there for 1000 to 2500 population, covering approximately 200 to 500 households. And then we have got a very important setup of Mahila Arogya Samiti per 250 to 500 population. See, Mahila Arogya Samiti is a group of 8 to 12 women, right? They come together, they talk about health related issues which are existing in their particular locality, and then they can give suggestions to the ASHA or the other primary health centers which is working in that particular area in order to come up with a solution for that particular population. So we can term it as like a kind of social audit related thing where community is being involved to talk about the problems, to bring out the solutions as well in combination with the ASHAs and the primary health centers which are working at the urban level. Fine. Now, under Ayushman Bharat, we have had a component that we want to establish and we want to give comprehensive primary health centers, right? The existing UPSCs, they are being strengthened as the health and wellness center. Health and wellness center means you are going to provide combination of services, right? So what we get under your CPHCs and all of that, we want to provide a health and wellness center. Just the name has been renamed, right, to provide the care at the grassroots level. Now the next important thing is the accredited social health activist. So this particular topic has got so many factual informations that might be of use for you, right? So just understand them. This is a very vital topic. What kinds of remuneration they get. They perform a very crucial role in the rural health setup, right? They provide the informations, they educate the people on different health related products that has been launched by the government. Apart from them, during the time of COVID, they were the single chain of link with the rural people. And one more thing, suppose you have called a doctor in your primary health center and there is a compounder, right? But rural people will not listen up to them. Why? Because they are not insiders. That means they do not belong to the rural community. Hence this particular setup is very crucial, because here a woman is picked up from that particular community only. Hence it has got more convincing power in order to convince the rural citizens about the benefits of some kinds of health products and services. Now, so let's see this. There are many components under this which are important for you to understand. See, it has been launched with 18 high focus states in the 2006. It is a key component under National Health Mission. Then the details. But there is a problem as well. This is not just, it is just like that the kind of work they perform and the honorarium that they are being paid is very, what you can say, non-comparable. The work they perform is truly remarkable, but the payment that they get is not up to the mark, and even it is not even motivating or not even sustainable. That kind of honorarium is paid to them. So with this thing have in mind, let's see this. Here you want to create awareness and provide information to the community on the basis of nutrition, basic sanitation, hygiene practices, etc. You want to counsel the women and families on the maternity related components like breastfeeding, complementary feeding, immunization, contraception, preventing common infections, etc. These are all the functions. I'll be just covering them very briefly. Here, next one is postnatal health checkup, prenatal health checkup for all the pregnant ladies. Work with village health, sanitation and nutrition committee. And obviously, you want to also prevent gender-based violence. If any kind of emergency comes out and the ASHA activist is known of that, then they also accompany to community health centers. They escort or take pregnant women or the children who are requiring the urgent actions and all of these. Then This is a DOTS course where you want to prevent the tuberculosis. So any kind of assistance regarding that, that is also being provided by the ASHA. To act as a care provider can be enhanced on state needs to provide information about birth and deaths in our villages as well as any unusual health problem. So a very important role that is played by ASHA is data dissemination. We now know what is the actual health related condition at the grassroots level with the help of these ASHA activists, right? Because they take on the data of every individual at the village level, and then we aggregate at it at state level. We know that what are the problems that we have and how do we have to come out of that. So this was the work of ASHA. Now key points. That means what are the eligibility requirements and other things related to ASHA. This is the important thing and we will be covering this in detail. So ASHA, they must be primarily a women resident of the village, preferably in the age group of 25 to 45 years. Obviously, she should be a literate women with due preference who are qualified up to 10th standard, right? The general norm is 1 ASHA per 1000 population. This is the general norm. And also, the 10th standard related requirement can be relaxed a little bit if there is no women who is available who has passed a 10th standard level. So again, we are very aware about the social conditions that we have in our country. We know that our country has suffered quietly. So in that particular case, even if someone has not passed 10th standard, we might consider her because of the situation of the society. Next is, there will be a rigorous process of selection involving community groups, self-help groups, Anganwadi, block nodal officers, etc. They are going to receive performance-based incentives, and believe me, it is too less in order to motivate anyone to perform any kind of work, right? They promote immunization, escort services for reproductive and child health, other healthcare programs like tuberculosis eradication, as well as construction of household toilets. That means the sanitation. They educate people, they help them get their funding and etc. So this kind of work is also performed by your ASHA activists. Union Cabinet has approved increase in amount for routine and recurring activities that will now enable them to at least fixed monthly installment incentive of 2000 per month in the country against 1000 earlier. Now 2000 per month. So look at the kind of work they are doing and look at the kind of incentive they are getting. Too inadequate, right? So now the package, it provides the coverage of Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, Suraksha Bima Yojana related to permanent disability. We are going to provide you a benefit for accidental death. Next is Shram Yogi Man Dhan Yojana, that means a pension scheme. So all of these components are covered under it. Now there are some other incentives, that means the performance based incentives. Just have a look at it, not very important, nobody is going to ask you. For antenatal care, 300 rupees or 200 rupees. If you are enabling it, you are providing this particular care, antenatal care for the women. You are facilitating institutional delivery. So say 300 you will be getting for rural areas and 200 for urban areas. And reporting the death. If you have reported the death on time, then you will be getting 200 rupees. There is another incentive, 5000 rupees for each certification to acknowledge. Provision of 10 rupees for each Aadhaar account created and seeded in various IT portals, and a provision of 50 rupees for volunteer for facilitating bank account information so that DBT payments can be made to TB patients, and financial incentives of 250 rupees for successful completion of TB preventive treatment. So these are all the things that are important and required to be understood, right? Now what you can understand under ASHA is the kind of work they are performing, just a read, and then the eligibility requirement. The eligibility requirement is a crucial component that we can say that we'll be studying. So I'll be covering up to this only in this particular section. Thank you so much for joining in. Tomorrow we are going to continue. And if you love the class, then please do not forget to like this video, and thank you so much.